For this video, I decided to watch Mai-Chan's Daily Life, a live-action adaptation released in 2014, which was written and directed by Sado Sato. The film is based on the 2004 manga of the same name, Mai-Chan's Daily Life, by Waita Uziga. First time that I read Mai-Chan's Daily Life was back in 2024, when it gained popularity on TikTok, and now I decided to watch the film adaptation. Both the manga and the film follow the same story, though there are major differences as the film doesn't even follow any of the original stories from the manga, which honestly is probably for the best. The film opens up with one of our main characters, Miyako, who is currently applying for a maid position and receives an immediate positive response from her employer, Keita. She's hired on the spot and assigned to work under the guidance of her mentor, Mai-Chan, a 17-year-old maid who appears to have been serving in the household for quite some time. Miyako and Mai spend some time getting to know each other, but things quickly take a disturbing turn as the next morning, both are humiliated when they're forced to eat breakfast like cats. And to make matters worse, Mai accidentally spills her milk everywhere, making Keita pissed off. So pissed off to the point where she just off her finger as punishment. And Miyako is just there in horror. Later that day, Miyako learns that Mai possesses a strange ability where no matter how severe she's injured, her body will fully regenerate, essentially granting her eternal life. Later that night, Miyako witnesses more of Mai's horrifying reality when she walks in on Keita torturing her, brutally abusing her, and even going out to at her eye and shit. But oddly enough, Miyako is a which leads her to just assault Mai in her room by French kissing her and then off a piece of her tongue. Keita walks in on the two and separates them, sending Mai to pick up groceries and taking a moment to speak with Miyako privately. And instead of condemning her actions and being oh, what you did was bad, Keita calls her out only to encourage her to continue assaulting Mai, which leads Miyako to a red room where I guess that's where Mai gets severely tortured, which is what happens next. And it's just a disgusting 20-minute scene of just Miyako doing various things like her thigh and then eat organs. It's hard to explain and show these final few scenes without getting this video taken down, but just know that for 20 minutes, 20 whole minutes, it's just pure torture, not only for Mai-Chan, but also for us watching it. It's just so hard to watch. And that's essentially how the movie ends. It's just the final few scenes, it's Mai-Chan's body on the red room, it's everywhere. Her face isn't even there. She's just a pile of stuff. And then it cuts to a scene of Miyako and Mai in a room together as Mai is slowly regenerating and Miyako's trying to flirt with her and then continue once again just I guess her by sticking her finger in her wound. Yeah, that's just the final scene. After finishing the movie, all I can think about is just how terrible the entire thing was. Not just because of the plot, which amounted to little more than just torture and gore, but because of its overall quality. Mai-Chan's Daily Life is incredibly choppy, with abrupt cuts between scenes that mess up the audio, making the voices sound disjointed. There are barely any smooth transitions in the film, and it constantly resorts to random zoom-ins and oversaturated visuals. And in some shots you can even see the ceiling of the set, which completely breaks the immersion of oh, we're in a room, like a bedroom. The only part that only can receive any real attention was the budget of further gore in the movie, which is unfortunate. This could have been a solid adaptation of one of the most disturbing and intense mangas I've ever read in my life, but instead it falls flat in nearly every aspect of shock value. And when it comes to the manga, the differences between it and the film are night and day. The manga doesn't just focus on Mai-Chan and Keita, it expands on several other characters and more brutal and disturbing events.
Looking at you, Blender Scene.
In contrast, the movie doesn't feel like a true adaptation of the manga at all. Instead, it comes across as like a standalone story, like a lost chapter that was never included in the original manga, as it introduces a new character, Miyako, and takes my story in an entirely different direction. Which makes sense because it's written by a different guy and directed by a different guy. In conclusion, Mai-Chan's daily life is a mess, both literally and cinematically. The film is riddled with flaws that overshadow any positive, and those flaws are impossible to ignore. I wouldn't recommend this movie to anyone.
It simply just isn't worth your time.
Not even for those who are curious about what Mai-Chan is about. And honestly, if you're considering getting into Mai-Chan for any reason, just don't. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and upload once every week or every 2 weeks, as honestly making these film reviews aren't that bad. And if you guys want me to make a video on the Mai-Chan manga like how I did with today's video, I'm gonna need you guys to get me like 200 likes or something, because honestly, like, I don't want to read all of that again. So if you really want a video on it, you gotta earn it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Every little bit counts. I hope you guys all have a good day.